Our next performer is Jeremy Harper. You need a table here.
Yes.
All right. Do you need anything else? All right.
So, my understanding of the instructions was, to have your presentation kind of demonstrate, a genuine or long-standing interest in magic. So I figured I'd give a little bit of kind of personal history along with it. So, when I first got to the Magic Club, my earliest memory of being involved with magic was in the 2nd grade. And I'll tell you that story in a moment. But since then, as we've gotten more involved, I've remembered a couple of things, that came a little bit before that. My earliest memory of magic was I was about 4 years old, and my parents would every once in a while invite for dinner the missionaries from our church, and one of them would do a trick, and it was just a very simple, he just kind of went like this, and put the hand up there, and it was gone, and I was amazed. It blew me away, and I would ask him to do it again and again. My next memory of magic comes from the 1st grade, and it has to do with learning to read. Because it was very difficult for me to get to learn to read because it was boring, because the book said things like, run, Spot, run. Look, Jane, look, see, Spot, run. Nobody talks like that. And so, when I finally, mastered enough reading that they let me choose my own books, the first thing I found was the story of a little boy doing a magic show. And so I read that book, and then I did the same magic show for my parents. I think there might have been somebody else there. It's hard to remember. I was 7 years old at the time. But I don't remember what most of the tricks were except for the finale. And in the story, the finale was he was going to levitate the table. And then it didn't levitate, and so they checked why, and his little sister, who was under the table to do the levitation, lift it up, had fallen asleep during the show. Well, my little sister was way too young to help, and so I just kind of hold on a moment, and crawled under the table and lifted it up, and came back out and realized I hadn't fooled anybody, but they all gave a very, polite response. And that really ignited my my love for performing magic. Wisp of smoke, so incorporeal, yet so much can come from one. So, the story from the 2nd grade, a magician came to our school for school assembly. I did not get to go because I hadn't done my schoolwork. So there was about 3 or 4 of us left behind in the classroom. And about halfway through, one of the kids from our class came running to come get me. Because the magician had asked, who's interested in magic? And my name came up. Apparently I already had a reputation at that point for dealing in magic. And so he called me up on stage, so I went to the gym, they called me up on stage, and then I got to see the second half of the show. In trying to think, what would be the best illusion for this, I thought of something that I learned when I was 12. And it involves a candle, and a flame, and the wisp of smoke. Because, not only what can the wisp of smoke accomplish, but what can it become? Am I to the 5 minutes?
You are.
Excellent.
Not only that, that didn't go off, so even better. All right, Jeremy Harper.